Alrighty, so there has been some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on earlier this week. So Derek Lee Cardello Smith, who is the plaintiff, who is alleging all of this different stuff, sexual assault, all this different stuff that he's saying he needs to be compensated for, has now been hit back with an answer from Diddy's team. So Diddy's team filed a document. It's an emergency motion to set aside the default judgment. And they also filed to dissolve the TRO that was granted to the plaintiff. So basically what that means is the money that they're saying Diddy has to start paying this guy on October 1st, Diddy's team is like, hold on, we need an emergency conversation about why this should not have been granted. And they awarded him a TRO, which basically meant that Diddy's team was not allowed to sell any property in that state or anything related to what could be used to pay the plaintiff. They're saying none of that makes sense because the plaintiff has no interest in any of the property. So how dare he say what we can and can't do? Now,
this is wild.
It's a lot. So last time I reported, I told you guys that the judge never addressed the statute of limitations on the sexual assault stuff. Diddy's team is alleging, and I actually reached out and received this statement from them. And what they're alleging is that the statute of limitations on that ran out 17 years ago. They are also saying, because the last time I reported, I said that the judge said that she had receipt of Diddy being served, and we actually have audio of that. Can we take a listen real quick before I get into it?
I have a proof of service showing that Mr. Combs was served on July 6th of 2024?
Yes, yeah.
Return receipt requested was provided, so there is proper service. Mr. Combs has neither appeared nor responded to this request, so I'm going to grant your motion for a preliminary injunction temporary restraining order and order that the defendant and their agents are hereby enjoined temporarily for a period of 90 days from the sale, transfer, or exchange, trade, or transaction of title or deed to the property listed as the address and placed on the market by defendants for the amount of $70 million. And this property and estate belonging to or connected to defendant Sean Combs shall cease and desist any and all trades, transactions, or otherwise stop the process. This shall have an immediate effect.
That was a lot of legal jargon I don't understand. But it happened recently though.
Yes. So I was going to sum it up for you because I knew it is a lot of legal jargon. So basically what just happened in that Zoom, and this was from the other day when we originally reported this, but I did
This is the story from the man who had the man who said Diddy had his hand on his butt, allegedly.
This is from this man, the man with the hand.
He said Diddy touched his butt, allegedly.
The left buttocks. Yes, allegedly.
Why you said that twice?
So,
man, we heard you the first time.
Because that's what he remembers. You know how his mind works.
I'm trying to keep the story going.
Go.
So basically that Zoom is from court recently. I didn't use that the first time I reported because I'm like, this doesn't make sense. This is a lot of money for him to have been served and just be you know what, I'm good. So when I reached out to get more information, what they're saying in response to that is that, first of all, the last time that Diddy lived in the house that this man is claiming Diddy was served at was over 3 years ago. They're also saying that because in this same Zoom court hearing, the man alleges that Diddy came to him, they had a conversation, Diddy basically tried to offer to settle, and Diddy's team is saying that is completely not true. Diddy does not know this man, not even does he not know this guy, but they didn't even know about this hearing whatsoever, and they keep saying it's because the online system in Michigan is a lot different than other places. They didn't even know about this. They found out about this when news outlets started reaching out to his attorneys for a response to the default judgment. So they just recently found out about all of this. Basically they're asking for this to not happen.
So they're saying he never got served.
Never got served. He does not know this man. They're also just overall saying all of the claims of assault and the sexual stuff and the drugging completely not false. I mean, completely false. Sorry, completely false. And they want to make it clear too that this guy has a record from what they found of doing this. Like he's entered a lot of other lawsuits that judges have been like, that's silly. We're not even honoring that. But this judge, for some reason, because of the amount of money, did not take a second look into it. And I was listening to some other reporting where normally, I guess in these situations, a judge who's supposed to be the protective party over a person's rights, when you do a default judgment, it takes away a person's right to defend themselves.
Right.
They're saying that there should have been another step because of the amount of money that this guy was granted, like another, hey, Diddy, are you sure about this? And it didn't happen. So everybody's trying to figure out what's going on, but his team is saying they're calling BS.
And also, some more of the legal jargon. Diddy's selling his Bel Air home, right? He bought it for $35 million. He's selling it for $70 million. And that junction that she put in basically said he cannot sell that house until this is taken care of.
Anything that would make it where Diddy may not be able to pay this guy, or you know what I mean? Like anything that's going to touch his money, close to the amount of money that this guy's supposed to be paid, this guy is saying, I need to be able to control that. And his team is saying, wait a minute, no, you shouldn't be able to control that.
And this guy has no lawyer. He's doing this all on his own?
Yeah, he was in court by himself. He was representing himself.
That's crazy.
Now,
he reading all the jail law.
He was in there dropping
everything.
statutes and
Lord have mercy.
He's been sitting there for some time.
What does he come on? Do we know?
I have no idea. So in other Diddy news, so Dawn,
you want to invite him to a party or something?
Yeah, don't you got a birthday coming up?
Who?
You.
My
birthday
birthday
not till
passed.
June. I want to know why Diddy. I said Diddy. Why? And if you want to know why when he coming on?
I'm just curious because he's
I
doing
know
it.
you are.
Never mind. Go ahead. I hate this guy.
Y'all
I
are
know
so
you are.
annoying. Like,
I'm so annoying.
like, so in other news, Diddy recently, in addition to that, like this is so serious and this is what y'all do.
Sorry.
We talking about people being allegedly abused here or not. Who knows? Diddy is now being sued in addition to what we just talked about by Dawn Richards. You guys will remember her. She was a part of Making the Band.
Dirty Money.
Dirty Money, the Danny Kane era. So basically what she is alleging, she's alleging a lot of different things too. So she is saying that she, number one, has not been paid for a lot of different things that she's done, whether it's been like writing, producing, performances, different brand deals that she did for Ciroc, and she wants that money. But she's also saying that because of the different things she's had to endure, like she says that she watched Diddy watched Diddy punch Cassie at one point, and this is all alleged, during a dinner where allegedly Jimmy Iovine, Usher, and Neo were at the table, and it was like a huge label dinner, tons of people there, and nothing happened. The dinner just went on, and they continued to do business and make a lot of money with the label. She's saying that at one point she was headed to a studio in 2005. Allegedly, she saw Kim Porter coming out of the studio with like various like fractures and different things to her face that were very obvious, and she was crying. She's saying that just when it came to the girls from Making the Band and Dirty Money, he would treat them insane. Like they were basically starved, allegedly, according to Dawn. They were overworked. They would have to work for like periods of like 36 to 48 hours without being properly fed. And because of that, she actually ended up in the hospital at one point. And I mean,
I was just reading some of it yesterday. He would allegedly starve her out and then have the chef cook in front of her,
and would eat in front of them, and would only make them eat like drink peanut butter milkshakes or something like that. But Dawn has always been, so when he did all that, giving back the catalogs and all that, it was a well-known conversation that Dawn and Aubrey O'Day did not do it. They didn't take back their whatever it was from him, because, and Aubrey spoke out about this. She did a special with TMZ where she talked about she didn't do it because there was an NDA in there that said that you couldn't, I guess, talk about certain things, whatever those things were. And some people are speculating that Dawn didn't do it as well because she knew she wanted to be able to come out and tell her story. But we have audio about her talking about one of the instances where Diddy would like talk to them kind of crazy.
We were coming to rehearsal in New York. We were doing Saturday Night Live. Yeah. And Kalina and I didn't know we had rehearsals. And we were asking everybody, yo, when's rehearsals? They didn't know. We get to SIR Studios and Puff on us. He spazzes out on us. Like, and he was like, y'all don't want it. Y'all don't want it. I threw my purse down. I was like, well, you want to go? We can go. There was this chess battle that happened between him and I think everybody's eyes was like, Dawn. Like, D-Rock was looking at me like, little bit. Like, where you going to go with that? And I think that was the first time Puff was like, yeah, I needed to maybe slow down on that moment.
And there are like there's a tons of
talk about the car thing that you told me behind the scenes. I thought that was real interesting.
So two things. So first of all, Dawn said that there was one time when she walked into Diddy's house, and this is when Cassie was cooking him the eggs, and he threw the hot eggs at Cassie, and he came downstairs in his underwear, and Dawn was like, "Can you put some clothes on?" And he was like, "No, this is me. This is what I'm doing." And she had to sit there and talk to him in his underwear. And then there's another time in the lawsuit where she talks about showing up late to a studio in New York, and Diddy was so upset at her and the other girl from Dirty Money that he went off on them. All the words she just said, all of that happened. Bees, y'all don't want this. Y'all don't want to work for this. And he went to swing on her, according to Dawn, allegedly, and the bodyguard grabbed her. So the bodyguard intervened, so he didn't hit her. And then the bodyguard threw her in like a Bentley, like a bad boy Bentley that they had. This is the part though. She's saying, because people are like, why you just didn't get out the Bentley and leave? She's saying that she was in that Bentley for hours, at least minimum 2 to 3 hours, because there were no interior doors in the Bentley, and she realized that when she got in it. No door handles. And she was able to call her dad within all of that only because the other band member had her cell phone. So she called her dad because she really thought something was going to happen to her, and her dad drove from Baltimore to New York and demanded to see her. But
I know he was ready to catch a body.
But listen, because he was so upset, the team members around was like, yo, we gotta let her see her dad. They let her see her dad, but Diddy and the dad got into it, and her dad was so shaken up by them getting into it, according to Dawn, allegedly, that she felt bad. She felt like, I don't want to put my family in this position, and she backed off, like basically backed off of it, because the dad was starting to call the police. And the next day they performed at SNL, and Diddy told her, like, great job, y'all did amazing, but don't ever call your dad again unless you're in the hospital. So it was a lot of reoccurrences of like these crazy things would happen. She would witness crazy stuff. Nobody would do anything, but they're making money and they're, you know what I mean? They're successful. So she's just quiet. But she said she didn't even get paid.
Door handles feels like that has happened before.
That is all according to her. And I want to also say
every story about Diddy gets crazier and crazier and freakier and freakier. That documentary 50 doing is gonna have to be on Pornhub.
Diddy's attorney Erica Wolf is saying Mr. Combs is shocked and disappointed by the lawsuit. Dawn is attempting to rewrite history. She's manufactured false claims in hopes of trying to get a payday, conveniently timed to coincide with her album release and press tour.
Jesus.
In the filing, like deep in the filing, she mentions between 2009 and 2011, things got worse for her. She says that she was backstage in a dressing room and she was naked, and he came into the dressing room. And then she says that at one point at some point, he inappropriately touched her breast and her butt. Yeah,
right, well,
that was a lot. Can we clap for me, man? It's early. Y'all not going.
We're not clapping after nothing.
Yeah, clap after you just reported.
I'm saying the fact that I got through the report.
We'll clap after the show.
Y'all know what I mean. Don't turn this into. That was a lot of stuff to report, and I am not an attorney.
It's not about you, Lauren.
You're right. Sorry.
All right. Well, that was Jess with the Mess with Lauren LaRosa. All right. Well, who you throwing your donkey to over there?
I don't even want to talk right now. I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
You'll be back.
I'll give you a hug.
Shut up.
From the back.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.